have too much in your closet but never find anything to wear? Do things that you own no more suit your personality? Or just have a messy space that's bothering you? Well, I lie in all of the above categories. So, if you do find yourself stuck with any one of these, this video might help you in some ways or give you the motivation to take that long due step. For me, I have evolved into the phase where you realize less is more. I've been a proud shopaholic. I accumulated things in my teenage, my early 20s, and most of my late 20s as well. To add to this, I have been a person with the habit of not letting go. And hence, I still have things that I bought a decade or two ago. Once I moved out of my parents' home, the space got lesser and the hassle to carry everything with me got bigger. And with time, I realized that it's not just a physical hassle, but more of a mental burden. Now, that might not be the case with everybody, but I'm sure many would relate to it. Whenever I see a bunch of clothes that I neither wear nor do I know what to do about them, it creates a mental strain. The time and money spent, the regret of impulse buying, and some more time thinking, well, how and where can I wear them? It looked like I didn't own those things anymore. They own me. Soon after that, I started exploring concepts like minimalism and slow fashion. And honestly, coming across things like a minimalist wardrobe excited me to start afresh. Now, I'm nowhere close to having a capsule or a minimalist wardrobe at the moment. But decluttering with this mindset is definitely taking a step forward. So how I started was not by removing what I had, but by adding new things that suited my then personality. I figured out that getting rid of so many things may empty some space for sure, but it won't solve my purpose. I would still spend time thinking what to wear. I would still feel that I've got nothing functional in my wardrobe. So here are a few things that I did. I invested in quality pants and trousers which could make any outfit look more put together. I got a couple of casual kurtas as they helped me feel more comfortable and appropriate for my classes. I also bought some new nightwear and loungewear. Honestly, these are the clothes that I spend most of my time in. So investing in some good quality items made sense for me before I got rid of the worn out ones. For months, these woolen clothes and jackets have been occupying my closet despite it being summer. I am not quite sure why, but whatever be the reason, it clearly didn't leave enough room for the summer clothes and my space looked messy. Rotating seasonal clothes is an old school habit worth adopting, since it naturally encourages us to rethink what we really need, get rid of what we no longer use, and helps keep our space more organized. So I decided to pack all my winter clothes. And when it's time to get them out, I would do the same with my summer clothes. And this freed up so much space for the clothes that I actually wanted to use but couldn't because they were stuffed and hidden in some corner. A good way to start with your in-season clothes is to divide them into different boxes. By that, I mean divide them as per your different plan of action. I divide my clothes into 3 broad buckets. First is the keep box. Quite obviously, these are the clothes that I decide to keep. Second is the discard box. This is for the worn out clothes that would not be of use to anybody else. And third is the donate box. This box is for the things that are in good shape but don't suit my body or lifestyle anymore. These can be given to people who might need it. Let's talk about a fourth box, which is a good to know segment but should be used with caution. After the initial burst of motivation has worn off, decluttering can quickly become exhausting, physically but also mentally. Part of that is decision fatigue. An hour into editing your closet and it's hard to think straight whether you'll actually wear that once loved jumpsuit to some future hypothetical holiday party. So go ahead and let yourself off the hook for now. If you feel you can't decide on an item or might need them in the future, place them in what I call a maybe box and store it somewhere visible but in a separate pile. However, this comes with a clause. You'll have to make a calendar note to review this pile in 6 months or a year. By then, if you haven't missed or used some items at all, you'll finally know the answer. The aim of a minimalist journey is not to have less and less things over time, but to have things that you can actually use. So it's okay to not put a number on how many things you want to keep. Keeping 20 things that you use very often is better than keeping 10 things that are not enough for you. The approach should be to ultimately make your space practical and useful. Having said that, you should not let sentiments play a big role here. Try and edit your closet as ruthlessly as possible. And this brings me to the next point. Undoubtedly, emotions play a major role in why we accumulate so much clutter. I find myself not letting go of things for a couple of reasons. First, and very common, there are way too many memories attached to something. Second, I had high aspirations for a certain item and I couldn't use it to its worth. So I keep hoping that I'll use it sometime in the future. Lastly, there are some clothes that are just too comfortable to wear, even if they are worn out or out of shape. So I tend to retain them for times when I am home alone or feeling low and sloppy. In most of these cases though, I end up not using these hard to let go items, and these patterns contribute to my clutter. When overwhelmed by feelings, we might not get the exact results we are looking for, and acknowledging this can help us navigate better. Decluttering from time to time gives me more power and freedom to experiment with my style, utilize more of what I already have, and in better ways than before. Know that some things are better gone, and you won't even think about them once you've parted ways. I hope this video gave you some action points to approach decluttering in practical ways. If any of these tips resonated with you or got you motivated to declutter a space, let me know in the comment section. Also, if you like such content and would want to see more from me, please consider subscribing. I would highly appreciate it. Until next time, take care and I'll see you soon.